Hello, my name is Jamie Mercadante, and here is another video. I wanted to really kind of break down the sun salutations, A and B. So instead of going through a flow with me, you can really use this video if you are new to yoga, if you are a teacher and looking for, different cues on how to teach sun salutation A and B, things to look for in alignment, different things to feel in the body. So you can practice with me, you can watch this, take notes, learn something new, whatever you want to do with it. But I really wanted to focus on breaking these postures down, these sequences that we see all the time, and to really kind of hone in on the breath, to play around with going a little bit faster, maybe slowing things down, giving modifications, things to kind of, amp up your sun salutations, but keeping the postures very traditional and staying with the sequence. So let's go ahead and come to standing at the top of the mat. So for me, it doesn't really matter if your feet are hip distance apart or big toes to touch. So with your feet hip distance apart for sun salutation A, Surya Namaskar A, feet hip distance apart is pretty much samasthiti, equal balance. So you're finding equal balance with your feet. You can bring the hands to heart center. If you want to bring the big toes to touch, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose, the legs are a little bit more engaged. You're lifting up through the kneecaps, hands to the heart, or you can bring the arms down by your side with the palms facing forward. You're rooting down through the feet, keeping your eyes open, having your gaze be straight ahead or really down the bridge of your nose, and start to come into your breath here. So as you hold Tadasana or Samasthiti, your gaze is soft. Excuse me, you are not really overly kind of straining the eyes, if that makes sense. The shoulders are relaxed from the ears. The shoulder blades are melting down your back, and you are starting to draw your navel in towards your spine. So the core is starting to engage. With your next full inhale, reach your arms up overhead. So if it's comfortable for your shoulders, bring your palms together. So really pressing into the fingertips, your knuckles, and the heels of your hands, reaching up. You want to, instead of splaying the ribs out, you'll want to knit your ribs in to feel your lower abdomen turn on. And of course, if you're tight in the shoulders or if you have a shoulder injury, you can take your arms about shoulder width apart or maybe even wider. Just depends on how it feels for you. So inhale, lengthen, and with your exhale, forward fold. So start to bend into your knees slightly. You'll bring your hands by your feet, relax your head and your neck completely. So instead of having your forward fold look like this, like you're always trying to stare down towards the floor, relax and find length in the back of your neck. As you notice, my knees are slightly bent because my hamstrings are not as open right now. This is my first Surya Namaskar A, so you can bend your knees and you're maybe feel a release in your lower back, but you're also opening up the back of your legs. Halfway lift, Coming up onto your fingertips, you can bring your hands to your shins, but keep gazing down instead of gazing out. So very important with your Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift and lengthen. The palms can either be flat, fingertips down, keep drawing the navel in, keep gazing down. Then plant your hands by your feet, step both feet back into your plank. Taking your chaturanga, to modify, you can drop the knees. Do not allow the feet to hover. Keep the toes tucked. And you're going to actively spin your elbows back. Your elbow creases will face forward. That way it's a good indicator as you start to bend into your elbows. You're going to be pointed back, grazing towards your ribs. So we'll modify this first one. Hinge forward, bring the shoulders over your wrist, navel drawn in, lower down halfway. Coming into your upward facing dog, tops of the feet, palms are the only thing that's on the mat. Drawing your navel in, keep gazing forward, or you can start to gaze up. Downward facing dog. Your feet are hip distance apart, so a good indicator with that, you can always walk your hands back. Make two fists, place them in between your inner arches. Toes are pointed forward. Your fingers are spread wide. And again, try not to continually gaze up. Allow your head and your neck to completely relax. So my ears are in line with my arms. My navel is drawn in towards my spine. My fingers are spread wide. My arms are straight. Gazing in between your calves, maybe your knees, or maybe even your inner thighs. Let's hold here for 5. For 4, keep rooting down with your palms. For 3, keep sending the heels down towards the mat. For 2, shift your gaze forward, come high on your toes, bend your knees, step forward. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. So don't forget, either the palms can be flat down, on your fingertips, hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold, relax your head and your neck. Maybe even bend your knees. Inhale all the way up, root down through the feet. Arms reach up, palms meet, hands to heart center. Just pause and feel here. Let's do it again. So either feet hip distance apart, or the feet can be together, either one, hands to heart center, arms down by the side, whatever speaks to you. With your inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Relax your head and your neck. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Keep gazing down. Plant your hands, step both feet back into plank. This time I'm going to take chaturanga with my knees up, lower down halfway. My navel's drawn in, my shoulders are not dipping below the elbows. I'm pressing back through the heels. Upward facing dog, draw the navel forward. Downward facing dog, bring it back. Gaze shifts forward. Come high on the toes, bend the knees, step forward. Maybe step with the opposite foot than last time. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Keep gazing down, navel drawn in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to do one more. I'm not going to cue. We'll just do it together. So with Sun Salutation A, you can do these in your practice as many times as you would like. With an Ashtanga practice with where I've learned Sun A and Sun B traditionally, we would do it 5 times. So let's kind of do it together, but on our own. I'm not going to cue. You can just watch me if you need to. Stay with your breath, with your inhales as well as your exhales. And that was Sun A. So now we're going to go ahead and move ahead to Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B. So with Sun Salutation B, the only 2 added postures for this Sun Salutation is Ukatasana chair pose, which is at the beginning of the sequence, and Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, which is the standing posture that is added. So of course we'll go through this together. I'll talk about breath. I'll talk about alignment. And then we'll do it a little bit more flowing for the second time, and then the third time we'll do it on our own. And with that you can watch, listen to the breath, and notice the alignment. So with Surya Namaskar, Surya Namaskar B, we are focusing on chair pose first. So what helps me with Ukatasana chair pose is to start to bend into my knees and go ahead and kind of bring my middle fingers by my feet. That way I really know that I am dropping my tailbone down. You'll see that all 10 of my toes I kind of lift up, so I pour the weight into my heels. You want to still be able to see all 10 toes and reach your arms forward. So it's very important as far as the arm variation that you listen to your shoulders. For some, we bring the palms together. And again, pressing into the fingertips, your knuckles, and the heels of your hands. If you have tight shoulders, hands shoulder width apart, excuse me, or you can even bring your arms into goalpost. The navel's turned on like you're drawing the navel in, feeling the abdomen engage. I can still see all 10 toes. My chair isn't like crazy low, which is totally fine, but I'm feeling the engagement in my hamstrings as well as my quads. Take a full inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs and forward fold. So we all know what Ukatasana is. We saw it in Surya Namaskar A. Ardha Uttanasana, we know what this one is. Lengthen through the spine. Plant your hands and step both feet back into plank. Taking Chaturanga, knees up or down, lowering down halfway. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So coming into Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1, bring your right foot to your right thumb. You'll want to spin your left foot down at a 45-degree angle. Bend deep into the front knee. and reach your arms up. So with Virabhadrasana 1, your chest is facing forward, facing towards the short edge of your mat. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle, so the foot is kind of at a diagonal. As you sink into the front knee, you can still see your big toe. So that way you know that your knee is in line with your ankle. So you want to line it up with your second and third toe. Reach the arms up. Again, whatever arm variation feels good to you. Take a full inhale. With your exhale, frame your front foot, step back into plank. So we're going to take that vinyasa again. Knees can be up or down, chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Second side. Bring your left foot to your left thumb. Dropping the right foot down at a 45-degree angle. Inhale the arms up. Whatever arm variation feels good to you. Keep rooting down through the outer edge of your back foot. Make sure that you still see your front big toe. Exhale, frame the front foot, step back into plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 5 full inhales, 5 full exhales here in your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Shift your gaze forward, come high on your toes, bend your knees. Playfully jump your feet to your hands or you can step forward. Halfway lift, either palms, fingertips, or hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Ukatasana, chair pose. Bend into the knees, see all 10 toes, reach the arms up. Straighten the legs, hands to heart center. Just pause and feel. So let's flow through this a little bit faster. And of course, I'm going to cue the posture as well as the breath. Ukatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step both feet back into plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Step the right foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1. Back heel is grounded. Arms reach up. Sink into the front knee. With your exhale, frame the right foot, step back into plank. Chaturanga, exhale, knees can be up or down, just showing the modification. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Second side, step your left foot forward. Spin the right heel down, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, frame the left foot. Step back into plank. Chaturanga, exhale, knees are up this time. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 full inhales, 5 full exhales. Keep sending the tailbone up, navel drawn in, gaze in between your calves, your knees, or your thighs. Switch your gaze forward, high on your toes, bend your knees, step or playfully jump. Lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose, Ukatasana. Tadasana, straighten the legs, hands to heart center. Relax your arms down. So I'm going to do it one more time. So just like with Surya Namaskar A, I'm just going to go through it, going to stay connected to my breath. You can just watch the video, watch my alignment, notice the sequence, memorize the sequence. And again, with Ashtanga, you can do 5 Surya Namaskar A's and also 5 Surya Namaskar B's, Sun Salutation B's. So, of course, with practicing at home with a video or as you start to learn these postures by yourself, you can begin your vinyasa practice, foundational practice, whatever you want to work on at home. Start with 5 Sun A's, 5 Sun B's, maybe do a couple of seated postures, but take Shavasana. Make sure that you are taking at least 5 minutes of Shavasana, giving yourself some time to find stillness, to calm down your nervous system. And as always, thank you for sharing your time as well as your practice with me. Namaste.